In order to understand this function definition, we are going to see a very simple program. Very simple program. Suppose, consider a simple program has include stdio.h. This is the simple library standard input output header file, and this file is taken from the C library and put up in the customized library, or that is on the current path of the program. Then integer addition, integer suppose j. Okay. See here, this is the user defined function. Remember that this is user defined function which will be used in a function. Then see here, this is the data type of the items. Addition is the name of the function, and these are the arguments or argument in the function. And this is the first line of the user defined function, and second line, that is body of the function, and this body is having many statements, so this is called compose statement. For example, integer x 5. This is array. There are 5 elements, and type of every element is integer type, and these are nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, terminate it. Then second point, second where integer I. This is separate variable used by user in his program. Then sum. This is also another variable, and this variable is used, this is initialized. This should be initialized, otherwise it contains garbage value. Another variable sum1. In this way, we are going to use 3 variables in the program. One of the variable is integer I variable whose data type is integer type. Then sum is the variable that should be initialized, otherwise it takes garbage value. Then sum1 is third variable. Now for loop, for I is less than equal to I is less than 0, I should be initialized. I is equal to 0. It should be initialized. Then I is less than 5 and I plus plus. This is the for loop statement. Then sum plus x of I is added to this sum, and this result is assigned to this variable sum. Then another variable sum1 plus j. Okay, terminate it. Then return statement is very important. Return, you can put off the empty parenthesis, or you can write the variable name, and body is completed. This is the body or second line of the user defined function. This is first line which gives the data type of item, the name of the item, and name of the item is followed by data type, and this is the body. This is user defined function. Now void main, this is the predefined function. This is user defined function, post defined, and this is now in main function integer. This is the body of the main function integer. Integer, there are 2 integer k and y. There are 2 variable. Okay. Now k is equal to 5. It is 5 value is assigned to k. Then y is equal to addition and give the variable name, addition, that is k. And last but not least, print the result, printf. Which is the result? This result tell y is equal to data type %d and simply y, the value assigned to y, that is addition. Okay. And remember that here in this program there are two functions. One is main function, this is predefined function, and this is the function defined by the user and hence user defined function. User defined function is developed by the user and this function is predefined function. It is in the library function. Okay. What happened when why this function is defined here? Remember that when we are going to use predefined function prior to the main function, predefined function, this is user defined function is prior to main function, then it should be defined before the function. Otherwise, this is not necessary. Okay. See here, when this program is executed, what happen? Compiler, when program execution start, control comes here, and start to execution of the program. Here, compiler getting two variables, k and y. Value of k is 5. Then, when control come here, then the addition, this is the user defined function. In this, here at this place, compiler call the function addition k, and this function is nothing but this. Then this is the actual execution of the program complete here, and only the result of this user defined function is called in the main function and the result is printed. When this program is executed, obviously the result of the program y is equal to output of the program y is equal to 20 when this program is executed. Here k is equal to 5. This function, this for loop statement execute the program 5 times and then we will get the result 25. This program, I am again going to tell you that this program consists of two functions, the required main function and the user defined function. The function addition, that means this addition preceded the main function. Means what? म्हणजे काय की याच्या अगोदर हे फंक्शन लिहिले आपण, युजर डिफाइंड फंक्शन हे मेन फंक्शनच्या अगोदर घेतलेलं आहे. ओके. And now note that the addition, this addition function carries out the actual addition. This function carries out the actual addition of the actual addition of the program. The integer number, that is k, is transferred to main function or into the main function via argument j, and resultant calculation is written to here, that is to the main function via a return statement, via this return statement. When this program is executed, this statement, return statement, transferred the value of I here. Okay. The value of argument is passed to addition function and the value is returned to the main at y is equal to here. Value is returned and this value is printed. Addition k. Okay. In this way, we can define the function. Now, the next point is very important. how we can assess the function, that is function assess. Important point, function assess or assigning function. How function can be, how user defined function can be assigned or access, sorry, not assigning, accessing function. Here we have to see how function can be accessed, how user defined function can be accessed in main function. Okay, a function can be accessed or called, we can say function access is nothing but calling the user defined function in main function. This is nothing but function can be accessed or calling by specifying its name followed by list of arguments in parentheses and separated by commas. If there are various arguments, then every argument is separated by the comma and put up in the parenthesis, and this is the part of the function definition. And when function is accessed means what? When function is calling means what? By specifying its name followed by a list of arguments in the parenthesis and separated by commas. Depending upon whether a function returns a value or not. There are two ways. Function can be written the value or function cannot be written the values. So, depending upon whether a function returns a value or not. Okay. Hence, function can be called in two ways. Function can be called in two ways. First, function returning a value. And second way, function is not returning the value. Now we are going to see the first way in which function returning a value or function returning the values. Function can be called by simply using the function name in a statement. Remember that. Function can be called by simply the function name in the statement. In the statement, when you are going to write the statement, put the name of the function and call in the main function. For example, see here, void main. This is the predefined function, main function. And this is the body. And in the body of the main function, suppose there is integer a, variable a, and whose data type is integer data type. And we are going to take the multiplication. A is equal to multiplication 10 and 20. Okay. And body is completed. Remember that this is the main function. Okay, now we are going to prepare or we are going to write the user defined function, and the integer is the data type of the item, and MUL, that is multiplication, is the name of the user defined function, and integer x, integer y. Okay, so sorry, don't terminate it. Remember that these are also arguments and these are also arguments. Then what is the difference between these argument and these argument? These are the actual argument and these are the formal argument. Okay? 10 and 20, these are the actual argument, and integer x and integer y are the formal argument. When the execution, okay. Now this is the name of the user defined function in which function name is MUL, that is multiplication, and these are the arguments, and these arguments are nothing but formal arguments, and type of these arguments are integer types. So this is the user defined function, this is predefined, and this is user defined function, USD in brief, user defined function. And in this user defined function, the body of the user defined function is integer z. There is another integer variable, and z is nothing but x into y, and return what? Z. One more function here, printf, multiplication is equal to percentage d and z. This is the body. Okay. Remember that this is nothing but user defined function, and this is nothing but main function. This is predefined and this is user defined. In this program we are going to consider the program for multiplication. For multiplication of variables we are going to consider two variables. In main, 10 and 20, these are the actual variable, and in user defined function we are going to use formal argument. When execution of program begins, then obviously the control comes here, tells the compiler that program begins from here, and then first consider a variable a. Then when control come here, then it identifies that, compiler identifies that there is a user defined function used by the user and developed by himself, and then controller going to search that function, then compiler comes here. See here that where the definition is properly written or not. Yes. Then compiler enters in the body of user defined function, and compiler found that there is another function z, and z is nothing but x and y. When the execution of this user defined function takes place, what happens? These actual arguments are copied into formal argument. Actual arguments are copied into formal arguments, and then these arguments are considered. Then 20 and 10. Multiplication of 10 and 20 is 200, and this 200 is assigned to variable z, whose integer type is z, and this 20 value of z, 200 value of z is 200, is written with the help of this statement to here. Okay. Then when value is written here, that means 200, and then this 200 is printed by this statement. In this way execution of the program completed. In brief, when compiler encounters a function call the multiplication, that is the control is transferred from this place to this place. Control is transferred to the function mul xy, and this function is executed line by line in user defined function. Okay, this function is executed line by line, and value is returned by this statement in encountered, and these values assigned to a, and a is not z, a is printed, value of a is printed. Okay. For this purpose we are going to see a simple program, and we shall stop. We are going to see example for function returning a value has include stdio.h. We are again going to include one more file, has include conio dot h, that is means consoled input and output header file. Consoled input and output header files means what? This file includes the function like clear screen, CLR, SCR. Then gets CH. This is the holding the result on the screen up to any coil or any button or any key is heated. Okay. These are the console input output statement, and these are nothing but included here. Now has not had integer is the data type, a larger is the file name, and argument is nothing but integer A and integer B. These are the formula argument. Okay. Now void main, this is the predefined function. Body of predefined function is integer I, J, K. Okay. Now printf. What printf? Enter the value of I and J, of I, J. Terminate here. And suppose these value are should becomes on new line. So new line operator is used. When we enter the values of I and J through keyboard, then these values should be scanned by the computer or read by the computer through the statement, scanf statement, and percentage D, both are the integer type. So percentage D, we have to give the value of address of I and address of J through this address operator ampersand, then scan. Then here this is the user defined function, main function. In this main function we are going to call the user defined function whose name is larger. Okay. And it contains the variable I and J. Okay. Then print the result, printf result K is equal to percentage D, okay, and K, and get CH. This is the console input output. And this, now here the body start and here the body ends. So in the curly braça, all the statements are nothing but compound statements, and this is nothing but a body of the function. Okay. Now user defined function. User defined function is very simple. Integer name of the user defined function contains the data type, then larger name of the program, name of the function, and list of arguments. Arguments A, integer A and integer B. Note that here these are the formal integer and here these are the actual integer. When program execution start, then the value of actual arguments are copied into formal arguments, and the body of user defined function contains if A is less than B. If condition is true, then return A. Return A. Or bracket is you put up or not put up. If condition is not true, then return B. And so this is the user defined function. Here this is the program for find out the largest number. If we enter two numbers, suppose 25 and 50, we enter two value through this statement. Computer read the value and put in the memory through this address operator, and after then when controller come here, then it found that in this program there is another function, user defined function, then compiler controller come here and start to execute this function. Here, where if conditions, if a is less than b, then the value is written here. And if not, then value of b is written here. And in this way, when the program, suppose we enter two values, then result 50, obviously 50, yes, condition is true, and this value is written by this statement to this place and get executed. The function larger is called at this place, that is k larger ij, and value of I and j are passed to the function. The function compares the value and the larger value is written at the calling point. This is calling point, and then assigned to k and the print the value of k in the main program. Remember that the value decided by the user defined program is always printed in main function. Okay. Now in the next lecture we will see the another way, that is function not returning the value to the main function. Okay. Till then we shall stop here. Have a good day. Thank you.